What if I told you that a young woman's tragic death in a hotel freezer wasn't just an accident, but potentially something far more sinister, something planned? In the dead of night at the Crowne Plaza Chicago O'Hare Hotel, 19-year-old Kenneka Jenkins vanished during a party, only to be found frozen solid. 21 hours later, police called it an accident. Her mother called it murder. But the internet uncovered a web of theories so shocking they'll leave you questioning everything about this case. Did Kenneka's own friends betray her for $200? Was she deliberately lured to that hotel? Was the hotel's security footage tampered with to hide the truth? And the most explosive theory of all? Was Kenneka Jenkins killed as part of an organ harvesting operation to save the life of superstar Selena Gomez, who mysteriously received a kidney transplant just days after Kenneka's death? And how does Bill Murray connect to this twisted tale? Why was a teenage girl found dead in a freezer that should have been locked and off limits? And why did authorities seem so quick to label this a simple accident despite the mountain of questions that remained? Tonight we expose the shocking facts, the disturbing timeline, and the web of conspiracy theories that have made the Kenneka Jenkins case one of the most controversial deaths of our time. Hello strangers, welcome back to the Strange Bar and Grill. I'm your host, JP. Today we have an interesting case that has been popping up in the comments section of a recent video I uploaded about body part harvesting. This case takes some wild turns, so buckle up and let's jump right in. Kenneka Jenkins was born in Chicago on May 27, 1998. She grew up as a bright, responsible young woman with a beautiful smile and a strong relationship with her mother, Teresa Martin. In 2017, when her mother underwent surgery for breast cancer, Kenneka stepped up as her caregiver, demonstrating her caring nature. On September 8, 2017, Kenneka told her mother she was going bowling and to a movie with friends to celebrate getting a new job at a nursing home. She borrowed her mother's car and left home around 11 p.m. This would be the last time Teresa Martin would see her daughter alive. But Kenneka and her friends didn't go bowling or to a movie that night. Instead, they attended a party on the 9th floor of the Crowne Plaza Chicago O'Hare Hotel in Rosemont, Illinois. Security footage would later show them entering through a side entrance around 1 a.m. The friends shared live videos on social media during the party, and at approximately 1:30 a.m., Kenneka sent her last text message to her sister. Around 3 a.m., the group decided to leave. In the hotel lobby, Kenneka realized she left her belongings, including her car keys and her phone, in the room upstairs. Now, there are conflicting accounts about what happened next. Some sources claim her friends left her alone in the lobby, while others say they left her by the elevators on the 9th floor. But what's clear is that all three friends went back to retrieve Kenneka's belongings, leaving Kenneka alone for about 10 to 20 minutes. And when they returned, Kenneka was gone. After searching the hotel themselves with no success, Kenneka's friends called her mother between 4 and 4:30 a.m. They asked if Kenneka had somehow made it home without them. When they learned she hadn't, they drove to Teresa's house and brought her back to the hotel to continue searching. Teresa immediately felt something was wrong. The story from her daughter's friends just didn't sound right, and she could tell they'd been drinking. When Teresa approached the hotel's front desk for help, they refused. She asked to see security footage or have a security officer review it to help locate her daughter, but hotel staff told her only police could access the tapes. So, Teresa would take matters into her own hands and begin looking for her daughter. She would go up and down the halls and knock on guests' doors to find out if anyone had seen Kenneka. An employee from the hotel would get upset and call 911 to complain that Teresa was creating a disturbance by canvassing every floor of the hotel. "She's knocking door to door in our guests' rooms, asking and disturbing our guests," said the employee. At 7:15 a.m., Teresa called 911. In a heartbreaking turn of events, the dispatcher suggested Kenneka was probably just passed out drunk in someone's room and advised Teresa to go home and wait a few more hours. The next day, on September 9th, Kenneka was officially reported missing, and police began investigating around 1:15 p.m., hours after she had first disappeared. Hotel staff initially claimed that they reviewed security footage and found nothing suspicious. Obviously, that was a lie. It wasn't until around 10 p.m. that an officer actually decided to look through the security tapes more. This review revealed footage of Kenneka stumbling through the hotel's hallways around 3:20 a.m., appearing disoriented and intoxicated. Following this discovery, police sent out a second search team. The security footage showed Kenneka taking an elevator to a lower level, stumbling through hallways, at one point entering the men's bathroom, and eventually finding her way to a kitchen that was under renovation and not in use. The last footage shows her walking through the back of the kitchen toward a walk-in freezer. While the video doesn't show her entering the freezer, investigators believe she opened the door, walked in, and couldn't find her way out. Her mother disagrees though, because her mother saw there was a camera above the freezer door. So where's that footage? Where's the footage showing Kenneka entering the freezer by herself? Or is the footage shown to the public what they want us to see? That's what they want us to believe.
It's a double freezer? He said, yes, but on our way back there, if you can see in the video, I'm pointing my finger. I'm looking for cameras. I'm looking for cameras because that's my purpose, because you can't tell me this happened with no camera in around, and every time I point, I see a camera. Except when we go by the freezer, that's like blocked off, which it was a camera above that freezer.
Kenneka's mother, Teresa, also stated that there were glow-in-the-dark latches and buttons on the inside of the door to allow a person to get out. The only way you wouldn't be able to get out is if someone had you locked in from the outside. So were the doors malfunctioning? Or could she just not find the door latch? Or did somebody purposely lock her in there and wouldn't let her out? We will never know because we'll never see that footage from that camera above the freezer.
When I go back to the freezer, they had both of the doors open, and I'm like, here go a glow-in-the-dark plastic release button, big white glow-in-the-dark. I said, so is this a release button? He said, the detective said, yes. And the sergeant standing back there with us as well. As I said, we were being watched as if we're the criminal, or we did this to my daughter, as if we was going to get arrested. So he stated, I asked him with the other freezer, the second door. I said, is this a release button? Big white button. Maybe, as they say, you couldn't see, but it was lightning in the freezer. I said, so that's when I stated, I work in the cafeteria. I've been working there for 7 years. I say, there shouldn't have been no way that she shouldn't have been able to get out these doors.
But tragically, around 1 a.m. on September 10th, Kenneka's body was found inside the freezer. Police described her as frozen solid, lying on the floor with one shoe off, wearing ripped jeans and a crop top jean jacket. There is a picture of this floating around online, but I'm not going to show it here. The initial autopsy was inconclusive, but later reports determined Kenneka died from hypothermia. Her toxicology report showed a blood alcohol level of 0.112, making her legally intoxicated. Alcohol in her system would have accelerated the onset of hypothermia. The report also found topiramate in her system, a prescription drug used for epilepsy, migraines, weight loss, and muscle spasms, which her mother said had not been prescribed to her. The medical examiner noted that the combination of alcohol and topiramate would have affected Kenneka's coordination, awareness, and judgment more severely than alcohol alone, potentially explaining her disoriented state seen in the security footage. So how did topiramate get into her system? It's not a party drug, and it wasn't prescribed to her. I'm thinking someone must have put it in her drink. Topiramate can also be used to help a person curb an alcohol addiction, but who would know that mixing the two would cause confusion and drowsiness? If she was on topiramate as a prescription, she would have known not to drink on it. She would have known the side effects. The police ruled Kenneka's death an accident. They found no evidence of foul play, no signs of a struggle, and no indications of sexual assault. But not everyone accepted this conclusion. As news of Kenneka's death spread, so did questions about what really happened that night. Social media users began analyzing the hotel footage frame by frame. Online communities formed dedicated to investigating the case. Some people even traveled to Chicago to join protests demanding justice. From all of that, several theories would emerge and immediately gain traction. So let's explore some of the most prevalent theories that emerged around Kenneka's death. Let me know in the comment section if you believe these theories or if you think they're just made up. One theory suggests Kenneka's friends were somehow involved in her death. Supporters of this theory speculate that her friends set her up, allowing her to be assaulted and killed, then placing her body in the freezer. However, there's no compelling evidence to support this theory. The security footage clearly shows Kenneka walking alone, and the autopsy found no evidence of assault. Her friends spent hours searching for her before calling her mother, and continued to help with the search afterwards. The fact that there's no footage of Kenneka going into the freezer, I can understand why some wouldn't entirely rule this theory out. However, I personally don't believe this theory. Another theory claimed the hotel was involved in a cover-up. Some suspected Kenneka was lured into the freezer by a hotel employee and locked inside. Others suggested she was killed off camera, placed in a garbage bag, and then dumped in the freezer to make it appear she had wandered in herself. Is it possible that the footage was cut in a way not to include hotel staff leading her into the freezer? And remember what I said earlier, the mother reported that there was a camera above the freezer door. But where's that footage? Supporters of this theory point to the hotel's initial reluctance to show security footage to Teresa Martin, and they also claim the party being held that night was unauthorized, with stolen credit cards used for payment and underage drinking occurring. They suggest that the hotel might have wanted to hide these facts to avoid liability, and in response they edited the video and covered the whole thing up. Now, perhaps the most dark and twisted theory to emerge was the organ harvesting conspiracy. Or is it really a conspiracy? Now, this theory suggests Kenneka was deliberately lured to the hotel to harvest her organs for the black market. According to online sources, some claim the hotel owner paid her friends $200 to get her to the hotel so they could harvest her organs. Supporters of this point to the freezer as a convenient place to preserve organs until they could be transported. Now, this theory gained significant traction online despite lacking hard evidence, but I recently covered a story about organ harvesting in Illinois, more specifically, organ harvesting in Rosemont. And this is what actually made me look into this case because I kept getting comments saying Kenneka's name. Could Kenneka be one of the victims of organ harvesting? If you haven't watched that video, go check it out. Now, if you're really unfamiliar with this case, you're probably wondering, what the hell does Selena Gomez and Bill Murray have to do with any of this? In one of the strangest twists, the organ harvesting theory became linked to celebrity Selena Gomez. This connection emerged because around the same time as Kenneka's death, Selena Gomez was suffering from complications related to lupus and needed a kidney transplant. And it was alleged that Kenneka's kidney was harvested for Selena Gomez, who had been rushed to the hospital being close to death. They claimed that while Selena Gomez publicly credited her friend Francia Racia, and I probably pronounced that all wrong, but they claimed that while Selena Gomez publicly credited her friend as her kidney donor, this was merely a cover story. Some even went further with this theory, alleging that Gomez's close friend Bill Murray, yes, that Bill Murray, Garfield Bill Murray, Saturday Night Live Bill Murray, owned the hotel restaurant called the Caddyshack, where Kenneka died, and that, suspiciously, Selena Gomez received her transplant just 4 days after Kenneka's death. However, there was no credible evidence supporting any of these claims. So I have to put that out there. I gotta say allegedly, because I don't want Garfield trying to serve me up a lawsuit. Now, Selena Gomez's friend has publicly confirmed multiple times that she was indeed Selena Gomez's kidney donor. In a 2023 interview, she explicitly stated that no one forced me to do anything. It came out of the genuine kindness of my heart regarding her kidney donation to Gomez. Do you think she's telling the truth, or do you think she's lying? Let me know in the comment section. Medical experts have noted that organ transplant required extensive matching, testing, and preparation. The timeline and circumstances claimed in these theories are not medically plausible. Or is that something an organ thief would say? Some online users have even suggested that a scene in one of Selena Gomez's music videos where she walks into a freezer was a tribute to Kenneka, further fueling these theories. Now, the logical side of me says, this is way too convoluted and just couldn't be possible because it sounds ridiculous. But the part of me that doesn't trust the media or authorities, police, and the government says to me, hell yeah, they did this and covered it up. Allegedly. I ain't trying to get that lasagna lawsuit from Garfield served up on me here. Kenneka's family pursued legal action seeking accountability for her death. In 2018, they filed a $50 million lawsuit against the Crowne Plaza Hotel. The lawsuit claimed the hotel was negligent for not properly securing the renovated freezer area and for failing to respond adequately to the party that was occurring with far more people than the room was designed to hold, despite receiving noise complaints. Crucially, the suit also alleged that the hotel staff were negligent in not allowing Teresa to view security footage when she first arrived seeking her daughter. The family argued that if staff had helped when asked, Kenneka might have been found sooner and could have survived. And that's true. If they were able to find that footage within that hour, within those minutes of her mom showing up, she would probably still be alive. In October of 2023, it was reported that Kenneka's mother reached a settlement with the hotel. The terms remained sealed because, according to her attorney, past publicity surrounding the case had resulted in various threats made against various individuals in that case. Translation: everybody was probably threatening that hotel, saying they were about to put hands on the staff. But that's all I have for you today. But what do you all think? Do you think there's something more going on here? Do you believe Bill Murray and Selena Gomez are involved? Or do you think it's just related to organ harvesting in general, not necessarily to Selena Gomez and Bill Murray and all this? Or do you simply just think Kenneka was under the influence and just stumbled into that freezer and couldn't find her way back out despite glow-in-the-dark doorknobs and latches and whatnot, and she froze to death? But what about that camera that was over the freezer? Where is that footage? That part's really bothering me. But what do you all think? Let me know in the comment section. I'm really curious about this one. I know you guys have some strong opinions on this one, so leave it in the comment section. Let's talk it out.